Hi, my name's Mark Kitaoka. I'm a national commercial performance and publicity photographer located primarily in the Bay Area. This is a real deal review on Westcott's ice pack. So unlike some of the other reviews, I'm going to briefly go through what's included in the pack, but more I'm going to explain on how I use it. One of the things I personally appreciate about reviews is how people use things, not just what comes in the pack. But let's get that out of the way. So what you get with this is a pretty cool little bag. It's got two compartments. In the front one, there are several items. One of the things it comes with is kind of a flexible tripod, and back in the day we used to call those gorilla pods. A tungsten plastic gel. I've taken everything out of the box because I've actually used this stuff. A little car charger, and then inside we have one of the main things I wanted with this pack, and that is the barn doors. Comes in this little case. It's protected by a sleeve. These are very valuable, and I'll explain why. The other items that come in the pack itself is a little swivel with a spigot and a connector. This is also something that's very valuable. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff right now, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the uses. So these ice lights are really valuable for my line of work. I don't always use them as primary key lights, but as fill, especially when I'm using things other than strobes, although I have used them as fill with strobes. I originally bought them because I thought they would be really good in wind, and I have used them in wind, but for my work I found that fill and accent lighting are great. These work great. So the barn doors go on like this, and I'm going to briefly turn it on so I don't make the videographer go crazy. One of the nice things is being able to reduce the spread of light is extremely valuable. One of the things I am going to say is when the barn doors are vertical, they adjust very precisely. However, I've been in situations where I've put them horizontal, and because there's variable resistance, sometimes I'll find that they close. So one of the things I'd like to see improved in the future is that there's a little more tension on the barn doors themselves. Okay. One of the other things I use with the ice lights that come with the ice pack are these snap-in tungsten gels. They also have a little rubber band that goes on here that is elastic, but I prefer to just keep gaff tape on my ice lights. In fact, the other one has so much gaff tape you can barely read ice light. It's just really convenient. It's always on the unit, and I simply do that. These are really valuable. One of the things that worries me sometimes on the job is if someone steps on this thing, it's cracked, and I'm kind of hosed. So what I always like to do is carry regular gels with me. They could be easily taped on here, but this is really convenient because it just snaps on. I use this all the time. I have not used the swivel or the spigot, nor have I used the car charger, but that would be very convenient. Nor have I used this little tripod because I usually put them on light stands. This, however, is really valuable. What happens is you have the ability to join two of these ice lights together. Why in the world would you do that? Well, in a situation where I was photographing a musician, full body, with haze in the air, and I wanted to illuminate her entire body, and these were the key lights for that, since the projector, the haze, and that light was accent lighting. By being able to join these together, it makes it much more flexible in what I can do with it, and I really appreciate this setup. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I've used these in the past. I shoot a lot of performers, and I had mentioned I use Fresnels, In the past, I had a hoop aerialist who was with Cirque du Soleil, room filled with haze, gobo in the Fresnel, to create light rays that come down on her, behind her, backlighting. As my partner says, I love backlighting, and I do. However, there wasn't enough light on her face so you could see her expressions, which is a big part of performance. Using a reflector would work. However, you have to remember a performer is moving. I seldom have people pose. So they're moving around, they're dancing, they're doing whatever. The use of a light for fill is much better. I would normally use a strobe, but even at 2 watt-seconds coming out, it would blow out all the haze and all the beautiful light rays. The ice lights work perfectly. The ability to adjust them quickly, what you see is what you get, is extremely valuable. One of the things I really appreciate about the ice pack is, although there are things in here that I haven't used yet, I probably will in the future, because I tend to buy stuff because I think I need it, and then it sits in my closet for 6 months, and then I think, oh, I can use that. This, I'm sure, will come in handy, as will this little tripod. I just have not used them yet. I've already given you my improvements I'd like to see. I would like to see more tension on the barn doors. I think that's about it. One other thing I would like to see is if Westcott could come up with an L bracket to hold the units like this and include it in the ice pack. I manufactured my own because it's really easy, but it would be nice to have. So that's my review of the ice pack. It's well worth your time, especially if you're going to buy these individually.